Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Did you need me to come on camera?
That would be awesome.
Oh Lord. Hold on, let me
We
let
got
me
time. We got 5 minutes.
let me find something really quick. I came up from church and I'd already braided my hair up and put
It's
on my
okay. I
put,
understand.
put on my robe. How are you today?
I am fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing good.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes. Good Lord. Um, okay. How's your day going?
No, it's going very good. It's so relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
I do the co-parenting on the weekend, which is amazing because it gives me time to regroup and refresh and do
Yes.
everything else. So it's really good. Thank goodness.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I had a shingles outbreak this week, so I've been having to deal with that.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm going to, I'm just gonna turn on my light because lately my videos has been dark. So I'm just doing everything to make sure it's not dark.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
One down. What am I gonna? Oh, that's what I can wear in my dress. Okay.
Thank you. I am back.
There you go.
Yeah. Can you see me?
Yep. Yep, that's better.
That's better.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming as
Take your time.
fast as I can. I
Take your
have
time.
extremely long dreads and I done put it in 5, 6 plaits. So
Oh, hey, listen, just be yourself, be who you are, just beautiful as you are.
call myself going back to bed for the week.
It happens.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So anything new and exciting for you
Yeah.
this week?
You know, this week I met up with some great people. I'm working on some new projects and I'm loving it, you know? I'm just
Oh,
expanding Sharon King Worldwide, you know?
yes. Oh, and I meant to tell you, write this down really quick.
Okay.
Free, freeconferencecall.com. Freeconferencecall.com.
That's right. Thank you.
Yes, they have, you can have 25 participants on the video with 1,000 participants total.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. And no time limit. I think there's a six. I'm gonna make it. Give me a second.
Okay, take your time. I'm just adjusting certain things.
The your smoke alarm.
No, that actually was my volume on my
The what? That little okay. Okay.
that was the volume on my
It sounds
laptop.
it sounds just like the smoke alarm
It
chirps.
does. When you're adjusting it, it really does.
Okay, I'm almost there. I have the final plait done. Now I just got to scoot back into my dress. I'm sorry. I knew better.
That's okay. I just want you to relax. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a great time.
You got snacks?
That's that.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go back home. Hold on just a second.
Sure.
Uh, uh, mm, mm. Where's the back of this thing? That should be it.
So we are recording and it's awesome. I have more people join in. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful Sunday.
Alrighty then. Let's see what we got going on here. Put my headset back in. And okay, it should be, oh, right on time. Okay, where's the button to start my camera? There we go.
There you are. How beautiful. Hello.
Hi.
Finally meeting you.
Blessings upon blessings.
Yes.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I love the colors in your hair.
Thank you.
They're so pretty. So we are about to start. This is
Okay.
Sharon May King of Sharon King Worldwide. Today, my special guest is Robinlynn Mabin. She is a retired Air Force telecommunication. So Robin, welcome. Thank you for being on my show. Tell
Hello.
the audience, tell the audience
Thank
about yourself.
Well, I'm Air Force veteran. I'm also an advocate for the homeless and other veterans and the mentally ill as well. I'm a producer, radio host, minister, and champion of the people.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for serving our country. How many years were you in the military?
8 years.
You traveled a lot?
Not really. I went to Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and Alaska and
How,
Washington State. Yeah,
how was it in Alaska?
I loved it.
I heard
It
the
was
fishing was
awesome.
good. I heard the fishing
Yeah.
was good down there.
Well, I wasn't out there fishing, but it was really cold, but it's beautiful. It's a beauty that you can't even describe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned you are a producer and other things that you're working on. What are you currently producing?
TV, radio, internet TV and internet radio, and podcasts.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
Since goodness, I got on the internet right about 2005 ish. So ever since then,
That is amazing.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
I know you work with DJ Sean.
Yes. I am executive producer on the Hilltop Radio Show.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love you guys. I've been on his show several times and he is a wonderful person. Very
Yeah,
wonderful person.
he is amazing.
He really is amazing. So tell me about this documentary that you was featuring, The Invisible War.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a documentary about military sexual trauma. And they did a real good job of depicting what happens to both women and men
Mm,
when they are sexually traumatized. The most likely result is developing post-traumatic stress disorder. hmm So and they did a really good job of showing what we experience. hmm
wow.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It was the first documentary that was released into mainstream media, and it got the attention of Congress. So now we have Congress, senators in Congress taking up the mantle and waving the flag, because to date, there is no convening authority over the military. So there's no agency, no nothing that can overrule or override or even correct the military, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I've never served in the military, so I wouldn't know, but I've
y-
seen the good and the bad, and there are great men and women in the military that serve in our country. My brother also was in the military. He died from cancer a year ago. And
Okay.
my uncle, he teach military base.
hmm
But
Yeah.
as far as getting information on all that, I wouldn't know. And that's
Yeah.
why we have you on, because you did serve for 8 years. And thank you so much. We appreciate you. So many
Sure.
thanks go out to the men and women out there that are currently serving, that are retired military. So as a young woman and man going into the military, what advice would you give them?
Don't don't go in. Do not go in the military. Anything but the military. Go down to the unions. Watch this. The people are not aware that you can go to your local electricians union, laborers union, welders union, plumbers union, and get on the job training and a living wage, and become apprentices and journeymen. And people, we don't tell our youth that, but I would say don't go in the military. First of all, if you find yourself in the military, don't be afraid if you feel that you need any type of mental health support to get it, because they shun it. um, I was aware that I had mental problems, and when I sought to get help, I was discouraged. They told me I wouldn't be allowed to reenlist, things like that. So, but your mental health is not worth anything. There's nothing over that. So, Get, if you need mental help, get mental help. And going into the military, you're going to see and experience things that they don't give you any support in coping with. So the likelihood, I would say that 100% people serving in the military are going to develop post-traumatic stress disorder, and also 100% people serving in the military are going to be exposed to uh, military sexual trauma. They will either be a victim or the perpetrator or a witness, or they will know someone who is one of those things.
Let me ask you, what is the good side of being in the military? Because my brother and my uncle they're phenomenal, and they both marry military.
Yeah. The training and the education that I received, amazing. That's why that gave me all the knowledge to do what I'm doing now without having gone to college, no degrees, anything like that. So the ethics and the discipline that you get, most definitely. And then also you get a chance, because of the nature of the military, you get a chance to develop some close working relationships and personal relationships with others. Camaraderie, I guess I'm trying to say, which is, I think, awesome. hmm Than just going out into a civilian workforce where you might not necessarily get that. In the military, it's a matter of survival. So you have to, if that makes sense.
So how have you been doing? Do you suffer from any of these that you mentioned?
I have post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm also bipolar. And I suffered for a long time, but we finally, after years and years and years, we got myself stabilized on the medications, in therapy, and I've got a really awesome support network. hmm
Amazing.
So, and that's the hardest to maintain, but I have good days and bad days still, you know. And the good days are when I can get up and I can get out and help somebody and co-host a show. The bad days are when I can't think, when I can't make a decision, when I can't uncurl and get up out of the bed, when I can't make decisions and choices, and I just have to sit and wait until till that awareness comes back. And
Mm.
that's the hardest part, being vacant, being lost, because it's like, woohoo. I'm sitting here I'm not idle, but I'm just kind of vacant. And it's scary because a lot of times people can pick up on that and they'll take advantage of that. People sometimes look for that in other people, that weakness. So, hmm
That's life. A lot of people look for weakness in a lot of people
yeah,
today. And we're going through so much right now. People have lost their jobs. People are homeless. People are, suffering from panic attack, anxiety, insomnia. The mental health right now
yes.
is at its all-time high. And I was looking at the news also, divorce rate and domestic violence is so high right now. So high.
and that and that's a big one. Domestic violence, violence of any sort. um with the shut in and the pandemic, a lot of people are trapped
Right.
and they can't get out to their sources of help or relief.
Mhm.
So, woo
They're just with
uh,
their abusers. They're just
yeah.
living with their abusers. And, you know, I can't speak for everybody, but I think that a lot of us would wish, when I was in a abusive marriage back then, and I was like, okay, I'm fighting for my marriage. I don't want my family to break up. But in reality is I was
Yes.
damaging myself so bad. And I'm so glad 20 years after I'm doing so much better.
Yeah, good. I'm glad too, because when we stay, we think that we're staying for the family,
Yeah,
but then if there's children involved, this is what we're teaching our children. We're teaching our daughters that it's okay to be treated like this. We're teaching our sons that it's okay to treat a woman, like this, because they're not getting the nuances that, well, maybe mom doesn't have a job and dad is the breadwinner, or vice versa, like that. And so it's tough. So it's,
it's tough right now. And, I really hope and I pray that it gets better because so many people are suffering and
yeah.
people have died from the hands of domestic violence. And it's
Then
sad.
yeah, that completely annoys me. I've suffered at the hands of quite a few men that decided to put their hands upside my head, just thought that they had rights to do that,
Mhm.
you know? And it annoys me, it angers me. People tell me I have an anger problem, but I'm angry. I'm still mad that those fools went upside my head and broke my bones or did whatever. And I don't think that that's wrong. I don't think that that's inappropriate. Okay? I think it's quite appropriate for me to still be angry at the people that caused me injury, especially because I'm still dealing with that to this day. It's not that I haven't forgiven, but it caused some fundamental changes in my ability to think and my ability to live. And they tell me, yeah, that you have an anger problem, and I'm like, well, I'm mad about that, but I don't think that that's a problem,
Right,
if you will.
right.
So, I think that whatever your range of emotions, that's what the problem is, the negative.
Mhm.
We're not allowed to cry. We're told, don't cry, suck it up, get over it, take it like a man, it's okay, it's going to be all right, right?
Right.
But we're never allowed to express that. But if I can laugh, ha 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 ha, even if I was laughing hysterically, you wouldn't tell me to calm down. So why isn't it okay for me to experience the full range of emotions?
Exactly. And you know what? We growing up have a lot of childhood trauma because we go back to where we don't want to shame the family. And so that suppress us as women and men not to truly express our feelings or emotions.
Yeah.
If we're hurting, suck it up. If we need to speak to somebody because something is going on, suck it up. As an example, if Uncle Willie's touching me, we're not going to talk about that because we're not going to believe you. You're going to get a whipping on top of it. So,
Yep.
so many trauma being raised and no one want to talk about it. Nobody want to come to the table and say, this
Hmm.
happened and it's not okay. How do you
Hmm.
feel? You know, as an example, just saying to your children, as a mom, I was wrong. The decision I gave you was wrong, but it was based on what I was given, and the
Yep.
decision was wrong. And so nobody want to come to the table and have that conversation. You have to be able to be open for people to come to you. You know,
Yes.
you can't have that shut down mentality because nobody will express their self. That goes with everything, life, work, personal business. You have to be able to be open for people to come to you.
Yes.
You know,
I
I,
agree.
I understand not everybody's a people person, but people are going through things. It's okay for a man to cry. There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that. He's showing his emotion. He's not weak. It's human nature. It's okay for
Yeah.
him to be hysterical about something. Let's talk about it. Let's see how
Yeah.
to make at peace with it and make things better. And I
You'll
think a lot
be
of those things we don't discuss.
you'll be so much better off because when you can talk about it, you'll hear yourself and you'll start thinking, so as a man thinks, so is he.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And everybody goes through things and everybody has good points and bad points, but yeah, so what? You make a mistake, yeah, just get up and fix it, correct yourself, and keep on going. But we've got this thing called pride
Right.
that doesn't want to allow us to do that. We don't want anyone to see our failings. We're embarrassed and humiliated to let anyone know that we make mistakes or we get it wrong sometimes. And I don't really understand why that is, but it's okay. It's okay, people. It's okay.
It's okay. It really is okay because not everybody, I don't remember anybody posting their failures much on Facebook or any social media site. We're not always winning. To get there, we have to fail at something, but we never stop trying.
Yep.
You know? And I love my show, and I'm so in love with Sharon King Worldwide shows because I wanted to be on everybody's show. But guess what? I was on everybody's waiting list. And I sat down in my couch one day. I was like, if I'm on everybody's waiting list, there are other people on everybody's waiting list. So why not make my own show?
Yes. Now
You know?
that's brilliant.
It's just amazing.
And now you have everyone on your waiting list and you ain't waiting for nothing. Does that make sense?
I'm not waiting for anything. I'm not waiting for anything. You know why? Because I sit every day and I say, how can I make Sharon making better?
Yes.
What can I do to make the life of somebody else better?
Yes.
We're all winning.
Yeah.
I am so happy when somebody wins that I'm helping. I am
Yeah.
cheering.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's
That
a beautiful
feels
feeling.
that's such a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
More than anything I could have done.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, it's a great feeling to help somebody and see them, their progress and they're winning and they're doing everything they can and you're like, you got this, you could do this, and you're helping them win. You know, that is a
Yes.
blessing. And I think a lot of people don't realize your blessings come when you help somebody, not for show, but when you genuinely help somebody from the heart, because there's enough room for everybody to win. And the one thing I love about me, because I'm so confident within myself, I'm not arrogant, I'm confident, is I love what I do. I love who I am. I love the
Mhm.
woman I'm becoming.
Mhm.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
I am me. I don't want to fit in your circle. I don't want to be a part of your shenanigans. I am me. I could walk alone.
Yeah.
I have God, I have everything.
That's awesome.
You know?
That's that's awesome. And that's what, people look to other people to complete them or make them whole. And they miss the whole point. It's about becoming one.
Right.
First you become one with God, and then when he blesses you with that one, you become one with that person in God. It's not individual. So, you know,
Of course.
but
But it
it's
goes it goes a lot back, not to cut you short, it goes a lot back with us loving ourselves.
yes. First.
Loving yourself and know who you are and accept who you are. Be comfortable in your skin and
Yes.
know that it's okay for you to go on journeys alone. You don't have to bring the crowd, you don't have to bring the team. Some journeys you have to walk by yourself because they're your journeys.
Yes. Yeah. And that was that was the hardest thing for me because when I start getting blessed, it's like, well, dang, I want everybody else to be blessed too, but it takes work. It takes obedience to get those blessings. I have to be obedient. You have to be obedient. And I can't be obedient for you and vice versa. So,
It is so true. Now, I want to touch, you mentioned that you're also a minister.
yes.
How long have you been ministering?
Since, I was ordained in 2011. And prior to that, I attended seminary for 3 years. So I guess you could say since 2007-ish.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Beautiful thing to mentor, to
it
preach.
was a shock to me.
Why?
Well, um, my calling came late in my life, and I had a very troubled existence. I was homeless for 15 years after I got out of the Air Force, so that was right up until 2003. And then it took me several more years to get stabilized on the medications, and things like that. And then when I started healing, I started God started giving me opportunity to minister to other people. And and I was like, and he called me a minister in a private moment. And I looked at him and I was like, are you sure? So I didn't say anything to anybody. I went and I enrolled in seminary and I attended for 3 years. And then my final year in, that's when I accepted the calling and I told God, I says, okay, I'm sure. And then God looked at me and goes, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, you got jokes. Because I was so surprised because, see, I was that homeless person. I was that drug addict. I was that person that wasn't even thinking about God. You understand?
Yes.
And when the calling came upon me, I still wasn't even thinking about God. So this is how I know that I'm chosen, because I can personally tell you I was in the middle of a big old pile of crack cocaine. I wasn't thinking about God or nobody else. And my kidney shut down. I had an episode, I started hallucinating, and I ended up calling the police on my own self. Okay? And when the police came to arrest me, now, oh, this is hilarious. Now I'm way gone now. Now I'm thinking the place is on fire and I have stripped off all my clothes and I'm running around buck naked. The fire department can't touch me. The police can't touch me. They can't do anything with me, right? So now they have to medically stabilize me, right? So they go to take my blood pressure. My blood pressure is like, I don't even know, 200 over 200.
Oh,
They
wow.
get me to the hospital and my kidney shut down, but they still can't treat me because I'm still out of it in my head. I mean, I done had an epileptic fit, an overdose, and a psychotic break.
Wow. Wow.
So finally, uh, I start perceiving this presence next to me, and I go, "Oh, I'm in trouble." I go, "Oh, he's mad. Oh, he's mad. He does not like this at all." And I didn't realize until much later that that was God
Mhm.
sitting there right next to me in that emergency room. But what ended up happening is, um, sometime during that night they were able to treat me, and I woke up in the morning, and instead of them arresting me or sticking me in the psych ward, they released me.
Oh, wow.
And I went home and I threw out the rest of my dope that I had, and I went to church. And when I went to church, I got to church totally, completely in love with God.
Oh, wow.
And I just don't have no other explanation for that. And after, and that's when he started getting me right on the medication
Mhm.
and everything, and I started being able to function, and all I could think about was doing something for him. So that's how I became a minister.
Wow. As you was talking about your life journey, because life is not about us, life is about our purpose on life. And Psalm 37 came to my mind. I love King James Version. I read a lot of King James books,
Yes,
you know. I've never
yes,
seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. And I read Psalm 37 and Psalm 91 a lot. I read that a lot.
yeah,
Those two I read the most out the entire book. And you mentioned you don't know why God chose you.
yeah,
Because God loves us. He died for our sins. God will love you a million times in 1 second than any human being can do in a lifetime.
yeah,
And you are loved. And you are somebody reason to stay alive. You know,
yes,
serve your time in the military, you overcame being a drug addict, you overcame being homeless, and it's okay. You overcame. And God chose you so that you could continue his word that he is real. He uses us as an example.
yes,
He uses us.
yeah.
And you,
It's
God didn't born with a gold spoon in his mouth. Where was he born? In a stable. He was
yep.
born among the animals. He had nothing, absolutely nothing he came with in this world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he understands because he came from nothing. And
It's
so,
uh it's an amazing, very humbling, humbling thing when you can comprehend that kind of love, embrace it, and then turn around and extend that to other people as it's been extended to you. That's beautiful.
that's the mirror image. That's a beautiful mirror image, you know? You know, there's a question that I want to ask because that bothered me before I even met you. Why do you think, in your opinion, that so many Army veterans are homeless?
Um, mm, Number one is because they they how can I say this? They train us, they teach us how to kill, attack, destroy, plunder, and kill, and then they send us out on command to do that. And when we come back into civilian population, they don't give us any support. They don't debrief us. They basically put us on command and they don't take us off. Now watch this. An attack dog, a police animal, they'll go sick them. And when that animal has completed that task, they'll go down, boy, and reward them and debrief them and take them off command. They never take the military people off command. So when we come back into civilian population, we have no support to transition back into general population, right?
Right.
We are sent out and we're told to kill, destroy, do whatever. Then when we come back in and finish our enlistments, they simply don't have a discussion with us. Hey, you're not doing this anymore. You're going back into, they don't debrief us. They don't give us any support at all. And then there's no value. People associate people that serve in the military with the government. And then they want to fight us. Like we're the ones who make all the rules. And we're responsible for everything that's being, no, we're just going in doing what we can to fight for our country. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And it's really sad. There's very little support for the military. What happens is the military doesn't take responsibility for their veterans. The Veterans Association is, the administration is a separate entity than the military. Okay? The VA, the Veterans Administration, was created to take care of veterans, and they're filling in the gap, but they're not responsible for what happens to us. The military is, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So since the military is not supporting us, then society, they're going to go up too. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me ask you, have you been to counseling or therapy?
Oh, yeah. I'm in counseling and therapy as we speak. I've been in since 1997, and I thoroughly recommend it. And I want to tell this to people: medications and therapy and therapists, you have to keep going along and you have to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you might not be compatible with that therapist or that doctor. Request another one. If your medication is causing you problems, if you think it's not working, communicate that to your doctor so that they could change and adjust your formula. Mm-hmm. uh, uh, yes, we have medicine and doctors and all that, but a person is still responsible for their care. They're still in charge of it. Hmm. So I just encourage everyone as much as they can be. Mental health patients, we don't always have the presence of mind to speak up for ourselves, but when and where you can, definitely do so and be flexible. Hmm. Yeah, don't, when you encounter something that doesn't work, don't quit on the process. Just find another person. If your friends aren't available, don't throw in the towel, find somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make a lot
Yeah.
of sense. A lot of people give up because they don't have that support system that's needed, and
Yeah.
it just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
some people have trust issues talking to other people about their personal problem and don't want to be judged and different things.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of reason, not trying to use excuses, there's a lot of reasons why people don't seek help, and some people don't even realize that they need it.
Yeah.
Whole different
Well,
story. That's a whole
honey,
different story.
I'm here to tell you, myself, and everybody else, you need help. We didn't get there by ourselves. If you can think that it took two people to bring you into this world, so it could stand to reason, it might take more than two people, yourself and another, to get you through this world by way of a therapist, a friend, a spouse, or whatever. Does that make sense?
That make a lot of sense.
Chop chop, people.
you know, um, I'm so happy, and I cannot congratulate you enough on all the wonderful things you're doing. You're such
Thank
a
you.
blessing. You're such a blessing, and I'm so inspired by you and your life, being in the military, overcame being a drug addict. Now you're doing radio. Now you're a minister. God is just using you all over.
Yeah, it's scary sometimes because I I don't always know what to say and I don't always know what to do. And sometimes not right up until the minute that I'm speaking or doing, you know?
That's what all of us some days. That's what all of us some days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I only hope to do my best and I really pray that somebody is getting something from what I've gone through, that they don't have to go through it hard like I did. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. So if you could give the audience some advice on taking care of yourself, what would you give them?
Self-care, most definitely. Whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, you make sure that you do it. Don't expect anyone else to do it for you. And if you need things for yourself, like a hairbrush, toothbrush, medicine, clothes, don't sacrifice getting those things that you need for yourself first.
Mhm.
Don't put anybody else before you, because if you're not all right, you can't be all right for anybody else. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense.
See,
Yeah.
we're taught that it's selfish, that it's wrong to be selfish, but you have to have that level of self-perseverance. You really do. You really do. So, and that's healthy. So that's what I would encourage us all to.
I have someone, DJ Sean has a question. He have his hand raised. Go ahead, Sean. You could go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi.
All right. I just want to say, Sharon,
I'm on the
um,
air. Just a second.
mm,
Sorry, you guys.
That's okay.
I just want to say, before I go to Robin, I just want to shout Sharon out for doing what she does for people of color and allowing a platform so people can get things out that bother them on the inside, and creating a show where you can be yourself and not being judged by your peers, and
Yeah.
understanding what she is asking and bringing to the table. So Sharon, I applaud you. You know, we go way back, and I love you to death. I call you my long distance girlfriend and baby mama sometimes, and I'm I'm proud to be, you know, your friend, and someone to network with you, and making sure that your show is successful now, tomorrow, next week, next month, later on down the show, and into the future. And I applaud you for all that you do for you know, everybody that you come in contact with. It's just a vibe about you that brings a presence, and that's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say. And as far as Robin, we you talked about a support team. You have a support team because, you know, Sharon, when I talk to Robin, the first thing I ask her is, "How you doing? How you
How am I
feeling?
doing? Yep.
How you feeling?" It's not, "Oh, I need you to do this, need you to do that." Is the business. We wait and get into the business after you find out how, you know, she's
Yep.
doing. Is anything going on? Anything I can help you with? Anything you need? You know, and then we have our conversation. You know, your mental. How's your mental? And we talk about this now a lot on Hilltop. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and we also ask our guests that come on how's their mental state and what they do, because this is something like Sharon, you brought up domestic violence. You know, now we have suicide on a rise again through this pandemic.
Yeah.
um, and younger kids are now becoming suicidal. Depression is a big factor in this too. So what I'm trying to say is, Robin, I commend you for not being one of those ones. No, I don't want you to talk about me and this and that. People don't need to know. People do need to know. And thank you for sharing, um, sharing your, uh, you know, background with Sharon on
Mhm.
Sharon Me King Worldwide. So that's all I got to say. I love y'all, ladies. I love y'all to death.
Oh,
Well,
I love you too, Sean.
so
Thank you.
thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sean, and you mean a lot to me. And we go all the way back. And congratulations on your shows and everything that you're working on. Continuous success. I appreciate you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And you're doing a fabulous job. And I cannot congratulate you enough. And I thank you and I appreciate you for always having me on your show and always supporting me.
Yeah.
Congratulations for Robin being a part of your team. She's awesome, really awesome. You know, it is truly amazing and beautiful when we could be ourselves, like Sean said,
Yes.
just to be ourselves. We're real. We don't need the makeup. We don't need the facade. This is what happened to me, and this is how I overcame. We're not sugarcoating it. Everybody been through something.
Hmm.
Everybody have a story.
Hmm.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. That's your life. And believe it or not, what we do inspire others. They may not say it, but it does. It does. And I wish you continuous success in
Thank
everything you
you.
do, in
Thank
everything
you.
you do, you know?
Thank
Plus,
you.
plus, people got to learn how to be, um, you know, got to learn how to touch people and not keep it in all the time. Because once you keep it in, it gives you headaches. Then your health deteriorates and things like.
Hmm. You
It's
get
crazy. Yeah.
ulcers, diabetes, cancer.
Mhm.
Because people keep stuff in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep stuff in. And I think a lot of that too go from childhood of not
Hmm.
allowing themselves to express as a child growing up in the older days. You didn't speak unless you had permission, you
Got that
know.
right.
You didn't want to be disrespectful as you get a whipping. And a
Mm.
lot of that come now we have grown men that still have children mentality because they have not let go of their past or how they was raised.
They haven't been allowed to. Never.
Never, never
Yeah.
allowed to. And it's damaging. Damaging. We
That
have great people that are hurting, but
that
don't
that
know
also
how to
comes from
express.
not growing up. Men not growing up. You know what I mean? You gotta grow up and and
Yeah.
it goes back to my situation, having all these beautiful ladies going through domestic violence on my show 20 some years later than having myself open up about my issue. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
And keeping it all in. And it's like I told Sharon, it's like a monkey off your back. It's like a huge weight lifted that's been with
Mm-hmm.
you all
Mm-hmm.
your whole life, and then now, well, hell, tell your story. You know what I'm saying? It's always,
It,
you're a survivor. You're not a punk. You're a survivor.
So
So yeah.
you're a survivor. You're here to tell your story to help somebody else so that doesn't happen to them.
Right.
You know,
yep.
this is what happens. This is what we're going through. This is what we're facing. And we're
Yep.
getting help. We're getting help. Robin, you got help.
Yeah. A lot of help. And I still get help. Anytime I need it, I will open my mouth and scream, help.
Yeah.
Please help me. For a
Mhm.
long time. That's probably why I stayed homeless for so long, because I I would not tell anyone. I would not let, if you looked at me, you wouldn't have been able to tell I was homeless. I had a briefcase. I would go to the clothing bank and I would get clothes, and I would put on clothes like I was going to work at a corporate building, and I would go eat in the food in the food lines, go to the food bank and everywhere, dressed just like that. You could not tell that I was homeless. You hear me? but but pride, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Mhm.
Okay? I
Mhm.
wouldn't go through that door and tell them, "Hey, I haven't had anything to eat in about 2 days. Can I get a voucher so I can go eat?" You know, I
Right.
wouldn't go stand in line so I could go get a bed that night. You know, I was too embarrassed and humiliated. Oh, but go figure this. But I don't know why it was okay for me to go around and let a man beat me up. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
your mentality is just, I don't know what happens to you when you get out there like that.
You know,
Hmm.
speaking from experience, because I was also in a domestic violence marriage, and for me, speaking for myself, I just wanted to hold my family together. I went to marriage counseling. I was the only one that showed up. I went to
Hmm.
counseling at the Catholic church because I was baptized Catholic. I was the only one that showed up
Hmm.
because I was fighting for my marriage. And then as the years go by, you realize you
You're the only
cannot
one.
fight alone. You're fighting a losing battle, a losing battle. And see, there's a lot of things, and we as human, when some of us take those oaths so personal, and I took my oath personal, for better or for worse, for rich and
Yep.
losing whatever it said. I took those oaths. We're gonna make it. We're gonna be this great family, and I did everything that's possible.
Yes.
But love me enough to realize that the person that I was in love with didn't love themselves enough to even love me.
Yeah.
And as the years go by, it's okay. I've learned. I went to counseling. I went to therapy, but a lot of people are not there yet. A
Yeah.
lot of people have the pride going, like you said. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to say this is happening to me because this don't happen to people like us. This doesn't happen to people like me. It happens to everybody. Everybody.
the the most humbling thing, but you still won't humble yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
And
Gotta,
and
you know,
and I just want to add that that's how some new relationships fail in
Hmm.
time because him or her are not coming clean with their past.
right.
You shouldn't allow your past to catch up with you because some people are understanding and some people aren't understanding, and the ones that you finally find that perfect mate, that perfect person that loves you to death and understands you, but if you still hiding the past and it slips out, all that
You're
can
not
go
ready.
away. It
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. And people don't realize how refreshing, how light your life becomes once you release what have happened to you.
Hmm.
That stuff caused stress, it caused
Hmm.
depression, it caused
Hmm.
so many things. But the
Hmm.
one thing it should not cause is generational trauma because it should stop at you. This
Hmm.
happened
Yeah.
to me and I want a family, and I'm not going to allow this to happen to my family because I'm going to seek help so that I break the generational trauma.
Yep.
It's not a
Yeah.
generational curse, it's a generational trauma and things
It
that
is.
you're
Yes.
holding on to. You know,
Mhm.
I'm a very open parent to my children. And this happened to me, kids, this is what happened. This is how it went down. This is
Yes.
what I did.
I think that's important.
This is not this is not a safe environment to be in.
Yeah, that's how I am with
Yeah.
my daughter. My oldest daughter, like, Dad, how'd you meet my mother? Oh, I was walking through the project, saw a big button and smile, and I started talking to her. And the
He
next thing,
likes
the,
big
the
butts.
next thing I know, we conceived you, and you're here.
Yeah.
So that's being honest with your kids
Yeah.
on everything. And my two daughters, they ask well, my oldest one asks a lot of questions about my father, about my mother, grandparents, and stuff like that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
honest with them because these are things that they need to know.
Yep.
Any health issues later on down the road, or her kids
Yep.
can pick up, high blood pressure or diabetes or sugar, cholesterol, and stuff like that. And it's like you were saying, Sharon, our family members, it goes back to our grandmother's grandmother, mother. They hide those things, and then we have a tough time trying to figure out when
Mm-hmm.
we go to the doctors. Oh, did you know you had high blood pressure? No, the hell I didn't know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
we're not told these things. And now that we have kids, we have to let our kids know everything,
right.
Yeah.
everything.
Even the mental health aspects,
Mhm.
like mental health, it ran in my family, both my mother and my father, but
Mm.
we were never told about it.
Mm,
I just know now because I can look back and I can see the behaviors and I recognize it.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know
But
what? That goes for relationship too. Because I think had we had known a lot of things before you get involved with somebody about their history, their mental health history in their family, a lot of us wouldn't produce children with them.
yeah,
A lot of us wouldn't be married because it's so important to know somebody's background. You're not judging. You want to know what you're getting into. And
yeah,
sometimes you need to fix situation before you get deep into it
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
because now you
Because
right.
it,
get children involved.
yeah, that's you're responsible for the life that you bring into and how you bring it in. Oh, so I I look at that even when I go to get in relationships. A lot of people have told me, um, like even in ministry, as far as being a minister, I've been told I shouldn't divulge that I have mental health issues. Why? Because I want the people to receive me and receive what it is that I'm preaching to them. And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, really?
Wow.
But but me early on, I know that some people, they decide not to divulge that they have mental health issues until well after they've been in a relationship. And I think that that's foul. I think that that's dirty
Right.
because you need to give that person the right to choose whether they want to cope with you and deal with you or not.
That is true.
You know?
That is
Uh-huh. Not get them all caring about you and then telling them, because that's manipulation, that's control,
mhm.
and that's not regarding a person's feelings for you. I wouldn't want nobody like that,
You know,
really. So
but another thing also, it's not a conversation you talk about. You get into a relationship, you meet the family, if they have family, you talk about your finances, who's gonna pay what if you're gonna move in together. But do we really talk about how's your mental health? Have you ever been to a psych ward? Have you been in a hospital because of your mental health? These are not things we talk about. These
it's
are not
hard.
things we discuss.
It's
No.
hard.
Do we need to take an AIDS test before we have sex? This is not stuff we do,
No, but
Mhm.
we'll take it to the next level.
but we'll take it to the next level. Yeah, and that's how it is. That's how
Help
it
me.
is.
Help me.
Yeah, because we were all young and dumb, and we did a lot of stuff, you
Mm,
know. But those are some key factors.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, if I knew a lot, I probably wouldn't have did a lot. But I love my children. I
yeah.
love my children. I love this.
Yeah.
Um, we only have 3 minutes left
Oh,
of my segment. Is there anything you would like to leave the audience with? What advice would you give the audience, leave them with? Word of
yeah.
wisdom.
I would just like to say, so as you think, so you will be, so you are. So guard your thoughts. Don't don't allow your thoughts, don't waste your thoughts. Okay? Let your thoughts be on things that are going to bring resolution, peace, love, and joy into your life. Does that make sense? That's all.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
That's all.
and
Well,
I thank you so much for being on Sharon King Worldwide. I wish you continuous success, continuous blessing. You inspire me today, and I thank you for that. I thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. You've
Thank you for
overcame.
having me.
You're very welcome, and may God continuously bless you, and may you continuously be a blessing to others. And thank you so much, Sean, for being on, DJ Sean, and continuous success also to you in all you do. Thank you so much.
anytime,
Take
baby
care.
mama.
Thank you. Thank you.